Hi, I'm Azra.
And hi, I'm Theandra.
And you're listening to the A&T Friendship Diaries. What's up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of The Originals. So today we got something a little different. Instead of reviewing 3 episodes, we are reviewing the last 4. Since we were pretty much at the end of the season, there was no need to do 3 episodes and then have that one final one just hanging. So we watched all 4.
All 4.
And we are ready to get into it.
I'm so excited. I love The Originals. I'm so glad. I went back and watched it, even though I'm just like, I can't believe after all this time, it still has me in my feels.
Oh, yeah. Watching it the second time around, I think I have even more emotion than I did the first time around. Because, of course, watching it through all seasons through the first time, you grow an attachment to the characters. So now I'm coming back with those same heartstrings. Yeah. So it's been really good. So episode 19, titled An Unblinking Death.
This one was rough.
It was rough because it starts off with Father Kieran basically just losing his shit. Like,
he went bat crazy.
Yeah, he's tripping, but he's hexed.
Right, but it's like they took every mental illness and just put it all into one.
Oh yeah, the witches hate him.
But he didn't do nothing.
He didn't do nothing to them directly, but they already know.
And that's why I don't like witches.
I mean, yeah, we definitely don't. And I don't like them. These last 4 episodes, I'm hating their asses right now. But they know which side Father Kieran is on. Like, yeah, he represented the human faction, but he let the vampires get by with a bunch of different shit compared to how he treated the witches and or how he treats the werewolves.
And I get it, because I wouldn't put none. I mean, I don't trust them witches.
I mean, absolutely not. And the werewolves weren't even around, so I mean,
right.
So it did seem as though Father Kieran does have a little bit of favor towards the vampires, and I'm pretty sure that's why the witches hate him. And on top of that, he a priest.
That's what I'm saying. He a priest.
Yeah. I mean, I think ain't priests direct enemies to witches?
Yeah.
Witchcraft.
Yeah.
Priests.
Yeah. That's why I don't like them, because they just.
I mean, but I will say this though, I'm not liking them, but them heifers strong as shit. Them heifers strong. I mean, you can look at me and I know, but they strong
only
as
in New Orleans.
Okay. Well, I mean,
so I'll just knock them out and drag them across the line and be like, "What you gonna do now?"
This is true, because that's where the ancestors are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Without New Orleans, I don't know how strong they are.
And then they're only as strong as how many people they can kill. So.
Well, okay. I understand.
On that note,
I do. I get it. So,
I do like Bonnie though. Even though she's not in the originals, you're watching the Vampire Diaries. She is the only witch I like.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, and you said she's in Vampire Diaries?
Yes.
All right. I may have to, I started watching Vampire Diaries a little bit, so I may have to check her out. But in episode 19, Marcel is still exiled, which you left, so that's okay with you. You're good with that.
I mean, I am, exiled. But he just like he right across the river, bruh.
Yes, he's not far. He's definitely within arm's reach.
He's like that ex that be like, I ain't then she got the restraining order. I'm 100 yards away, but dude, you're 100 yards directly in front of my house.
Right, I can still
see you. That's all right. I'm following the court order. That's what Marcel is.
He's following the Klaus order.
Right.
Yeah, he's not stupid. That is one thing for sure. But he wants to help Cammy. But he can't. Now look, these episodes definitely show that he has a special place in his heart for Cammy, which is why I liked him a little bit these last few episodes.
I think he just wants the key. We'll get into it. Okay.
I understand what you're saying, but because of episodes after,
Okay. I
it
get you.
shows that Marcel really does have a thing for Cammy. I mean, and yes, he do want the key. You're
Yeah.
not wrong.
He's Klaus's.
But even
son.
after he gets the key, he still show up for her. Like, so if it was just about the key,
But who called him though? Big Daddy. All right, let's go. Let's go. 19.
Did you call Klaus Big Daddy?
Hey, he will always be Big Daddy to me. Yes,
You
Big
are
Daddy.
so
Yes.
funny. Yeah, Marcel, he's exiled and he wants to help Cammy, but he knows that he can't come his butt back across the river, so he calls Klaus
Yeah.
and asks Klaus to go see about
Because
Cammy.
Cammy was she was really
Cammy's
going
ass,
through losing her uncle. I was about to say, Cammy, look, Connie,
she was
you're
teeter-tottering.
borderline about crazy as your uncle.
She was teeter-tottering for real.
She's like, can we shock him? We can
and
reset his brain.
and
He's
they
hexed.
do though.
You're looking for natural remedies for a magical curse.
Well, that glimpse of him recognizing her, that gave her so much hope that yeah, she's willing to do anything, and so she decides to go with
Josh was like, I don't know, because it was so quick. He was like, Camille. She was like, Uncle, get away from me. Did you see it? He was there. He was like, I don't know.
Josh was like, I did not see it. That joke was so funny. But because of that, Cammy now is gonna do some electroshock therapy on Father Kieran. That joke was so funny.
Chained in the attic of the church. Come on.
When the doctor walked in, the doctor said, I'm gonna call the police. I'm not gonna treat this man. I mean, he does need help, but you're not gonna get me involved. I'm gonna call the police. And Josh had to compel him. Josh always coming through for the win. But yeah, Father Kieran is losing his shit. Cammy losing her shit. And it's just, episode 19 was just a shit show. That's basically how I want to boil down episode 19.
And we found out that Marcel saved Haley when she was a baby.
Oh,
He tried to give her money
yeah.
to leave town in case, it get a little,
Yeah. Was that in episode 19?
Yep.
Yeah, he does. He gives her like a little history lesson on
her
people and their prior interaction, even though she was a baby.
Right.
I
feel like so I don't know. It messes with my brain sometimes because of the timeline. Because I'm like, Haley is grown now. So I thought, Marcel was only. Well, he probably was only king of the city the past 8 months, but he probably been there a long time.
Well, he said he's been there all his life.
Yeah.
So from all the flashbacks, he was born on the plantation.
Yeah, so he has been there.
He's never left New Orleans, and even though he wasn't running the city, he was still a part of the city. You know what I'm saying? Like how he talks about in episode 22, I think it is, about just the soul of the city. Yeah. That's what he's fighting for. He's not fighting for, the same thing that everybody else is fighting for. So yeah. Let's talk about the bayou. The bayou getting bombed where all the werewolves are. Haley is a force to be reckoned with, pregnant and all. When the motorcyclist shows up,
yeah,
and does what's that, like his own personal suicide bombing, and just blows the werewolves up.
That was sad.
I was just gonna say, did that not affect you?
I mean, it did. I was sad because I'm like, I felt kind of sad too for Elijah because I know Elijah was really working trying to bring peace because that's all he wanted. Yeah, and just if you saw the look on his face, he looked like he felt like he looked like he failed because
he definitely and he
was just defeated. As distraught because his connection with Haley. And those were her people. I think he also took on like, I let her down.
Yeah, he did. He looked very defeated, and I hated that for him because his heart was in the right place.
Yeah, it was.
And trying to get all the factions together and to just charter peace.
Yes, and then find out it was Oliver. trying to incite a riot. So you
Yo.
killed your own people to start a war, but even though y'all was trying to have peace, because I'm like,
Haley's
everybody got their own agenda.
Haley's walking around thinking that it's somebody on the outside that bombed the bayou.
And
And like
it's
you just said, all along, it was Oliver.
that's how she ended up at Marcel's because she thought it was him. She
Right.
was going on a hunt. She showed up at the mayor house.
Yeah, she wanted to know who killed her people. In all of that time, it was her people that killed her people. And if you can't tell me if that ain't like real life,
Who you telling?
that's some
Because he want to be
because he want to be
be
the
the leader.
alpha.
Yeah, he want to be the alpha. But
Yeah.
so you
And what is he? He the beta?
He-
Is that what it is?
he ain't even a beta.
He's really not
Because
even
she
a
called him
beta.
a pup. She was like, let the pup speak.
Yeah.
So do you not even looked at as a full grown wolf up in this pack, bruh?
Yeah.
Because you know because if you want to be
Tell him.
the only way that you righteously supposed to be an alpha of a werewolf pack and they respect you is you got to beat the alpha.
Correct.
And if you can't whoop the alpha and take his place,
then you can't be
then
the
you
alpha.
can't be the alpha.
Correct. And he can't whoop Jackson.
No, he can't whoop Jackson.
There was a scene where he walk in and Jackson just look at his ass and he seems to even whimper. Like his whole mouth does this thing.
Mhm.
Jackson don't say a word to him. He just looks at Oliver and Oliver take his ass back out the door.
Technically, the alpha is so strong in a werewolf pack, you're not even supposed to look the alpha in the eye. Even his mate is not supposed to look him in the eye at certain points. So, like, if he's standing up in front of the pack and he giving a speech, like, as your alpha, we are going to unite. If he talking like that and somebody be like, well, excuse me, I don't think, he'll be like, first of all, who are you looking at? Like, you're not even supposed to look him in the eye unless he allows you to. Number one. Number two. Number two, just like werewolves and dogs, you ever see when two dogs fight, when he get one on the ground, he'll put his mouth on his neck, but he don't kill him?
Yeah.
That's a sign of surrender?
Yeah. Just
same way in a wolf pack. Yeah. Like,
I couldn't kill you.
Either I'll rip your throat out or you going to submit.
Right.
One of the two things. It's your choice.
Yeah.
So the alpha got power. Yeah.
With that look Jackson gave, he had him by the throat and he didn't move, utter a word, no nothing. Yeah, and Ollie sees that he can't beat that.
No.
So what does he do? He links up with another clan to go against his own people. You think he knew Francesca was okay, I'm not even gonna talk about that yet because I was about to give it away. I was about to give it away because I definitely want to talk about her.
Okay, so, we will.
Okay, so after excuse me, y'all. Once again, I'm having one of those little voice things, but that's not gonna stop my podcast. Not today. Not so Cammy says to Klaus, my uncle can't die. Like, I'm not gonna be able to survive. So you gotta turn him. And Klaus listens to her, which he already knew that Father Kieran was going to be pissed that he was turned into a vampire. But he did it anyway.
Yeah, but see, he also knew that Father Kieran would have a choice.
I mean,
because Cammy wasn't ready to say goodbye yet, he told her, like, hey, I'm just doing this to buy you time because he still got to choose to feed. And if he don't choose to feed, he'll die.
Right.
So his life ain't saved yet.
It's still actually his choice.
It's still actually his choice.
Yeah.
He's like, but this will give you time. I thought that was so sweet of him.
It was. And I say I can't believe that he did it, but I also understand why he did it because, yes, he was giving Cammy the opportunity to say her goodbyes, which I thought was so sweet. And it definitely made me love Klaus. Like, you know, I already love him. Maybe not as much as you, but
he's so tender.
His kindness to Cammy,
like
these last
okay, sorry.
His kindness to Cammy these last few episodes were, I mean, I just loved it. It was very, very touching.
Yes, when my favorite part of touching, and I was like, this is why I love Klaus, is when Father Kieran finally did pass away. She was so hurt that she called out Marcel's name. And Klaus called Marcel and said, in her darkest hour, when she didn't even know where she was, it wasn't my name she called. it was yours. So I'm gonna lift this kill order that I got on you. And for the next 24 hours, you can come across the river because she needs you. And if you can give her any type of comfort, I'm willing to let whatever we got between me and you go because right now she's more important to me than even our beef. Bruh.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I'm like, see,
Yeah.
that's the Klaus. That Klaus right there.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was. He
So
just,
unselfish.
yeah,
So
I was just gonna say,
compassionate.
very compassionate.
And the fact that he could have that, and we know what he went through with his dad, with his mom, with everybody turning on him. And the reason why I was so mad at Marcel, because I'm like, y'all both come from a place where y'all fathers beat y'all.
Exactly. And I think that's on one of the upcoming episodes where they have a conversation, like
That's
even
why I'm
about
like,
it during a flashback.
I don't understand why Marcel feels like he needs New Orleans to himself. Like you could rule beside Klaus. Why is it so hard for him to let Klaus be king?
Marcel wants to be treated as family, and I think he doesn't truly understand that the hell that Klaus puts him through, he does to the rest of his family members, hence Rebecca being daggered for 52 damn years. So Marcel is family. Marcel,
you're right.
This is how Klaus loves.
Exactly.
It's a crazy love.
But I bet it feels so good. I'm like,
it's a crazy love, but this is how he loves nonetheless. So there it is.
Marcel is just I don't know.
I don't like we established in a few episodes back. He's like a child, unfortunately.
He's an Omega I would say he a beta, but betas are just alpha submitted. Like Klaus is the true alpha dude. Like the true.
He is.
Just I don't know. But anyway, let's move on.
They can't seem to let it go.
Yeah, but you should have respect and he gave you immortality. He saved you from a life of slavery.
Yeah, you was definitely
he brought you out of the slums, treated you like a son, raised you like a son, loved you.
And I want to talk about that. So, but we're going to get into that because that's that all of the things that Klaus has done for Marcel. I was just like, really, Marcel? So, but we'll get to that. Let's talk about Ollie killing Eve. Eve has been
the backbone
of their whole pack. She never killed anybody so that she could turn into a werewolf, but she still lived with the werewolves. She still was a werewolf in her heart. You know what I'm saying? And she took care of that pack. She was like the mama.
Yeah.
The mama werewolf.
Yeah.
And Ollie killed her after confessing that it was his idea to bomb his pack. Seriously? Why didn't you just keep that shit to her yourself so you didn't have to kill her?
That's why he a pup. That was so weak.
It was.
That was so weak. Like
because he loved her.
And like in werewolf world, werewolf society, like you don't kill women wolves. You don't do that. For one, because they're hard to come by. Number one, there's a shortage of female wolves compared to males.
That's interesting.
Number one, so you don't kill them because they're hard to come by. Very hard. It's men outnumber the women wolves. Anyway, so we need them to mate. That's how we keep our pack going. Because that's the only way we can keep the gene. Because it has to be our bloodline.
Right.
You killing a she-wolf?
Right.
How we gonna have? You feel what I'm saying? Like
right. How are we gonna have more wolves?
Yeah.
We need them.
Yeah.
And there's a shortage.
Yeah, because you know they've been killed out by the vampires, by the witches. You remember Marcel almost slaughtered a whole pack.
He slaughtered another pack that we know about. So yeah, that was a very pup move on Ollie's part. So Marcel, we started talking about the key earlier. So we know that Marcel had Josh steal the key from Cammy. And even though I've watched it before, I was like, what the hell is this key? Like, why is
I
everybody
forgot about it too, and I still don't know what it means. Even after we watched season 1, like I understand, we'll get into the
right?
episode, but I still don't understand the importance.
Yeah, I was just like, yo, everybody is looking for this key. And I could not remember anything about this key for the life of me. But when we do find out what the key holds, it's like, but bum 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 bum. Like, yeah, it's
Bow, bow,
on.
bow, bow,
Yeah,
bow.
yeah, like it's on and popping. So yeah. Shout out to me definitely forgetting all about the whole key.
Yeah, and at the end of episode 19, after everything's happened, Elijah is like, this is my favorite part because
Elijah's so smooth. I know what you're finna say.
He-
He's so. This is why I love Heat.
yeah,
He's
because I'm
so
y'all ain't gonna be
smooth.
able to see it, but I ain't gonna act it out. When he was like, okay, so I was trying to do peace and the peace ain't working. So you know what, brother? I think this is what you was looking for. And he hit it with them 2 fingers on the top of the book and then walked off.
Yeah, he hit him. He gave Klaus back
I
the
was
grimoire.
like, come on.
Yeah, and
Brothers.
Elijah, in his speech of knowing that shit, war is here, he said, if I'm gonna pick a side, I'm gonna pick the side of our family.
Yes.
And then they did a little toast, and Elijah said, to our victory.
Yes, to our victory.
The war ain't even
It
got started for
To
real.
our victory.
And Elijah
Did you
already,
hear my Elijah voice?
yeah,
To our victory.
yeah, we've already won. We've already
Cause
won.
they the originals, bro.
Yeah, yeah, the Michelsons ain't nothing.
They ain't nothing to play with. Look, I'm gonna
At
change
all.
my name to Michael, last name to Michael.
You gonna change your last name to Michelson?
Yeah, from here on out, I am Theandra Denise Michelson. It didn't even sound good. Okay. But yes, because
Oh, that's so funny.
I like the whole loyalty, even though they have it's just like real family. I mean, we ain't breaking each other necks, but I'm pretty sure if we could, and we
And everybody survived.
right,
Yeah,
we knew
they're
that way
vampires,
back
so
up,
they
right.
fight differently. But yes,
But
like,
yeah,
like
but at the
families,
end of the
they
day,
fight.
like we're gonna stand together.
Oh yeah,
and
10
we'll
toes down.
fight to the death. I love it.
Yeah,
That's a great way to end the episode. Come on,
Nice.
Elijah.
Episode 19 ended just beautifully. It was a good episode. And then episode 20.
20.
The title of episode 20, A Closer Walk with Thee. Girl,
Yeah.
when it came on, I was like, I don't even know what this about, but this finna be popping. Just the title alone had me. A Closer Walk with Thee. Everybody finna die. That's what I was thinking in my head. Like, yeah, everybody it's over. So episode 20 starts with Klaus dreaming that he's at Father Kirian's funeral. Everybody's walked past the casket and paid their respects. Everybody's sitting in the pews. Let me put a pause before I keep describing. I thought this was really happening. I didn't realize that this was a dream.
I didn't either.
Until Klaus woke the hell up. But either way it goes.
No, I knew it was a dream when he opened the casket and there was a baby in there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That was
right.
Kieran.
Yeah.
So I was like, something right.
Yeah. So okay, so everybody's sitting in the pews. Klaus gets to the funeral late. I was like, damn, that's tacky. This is before I knew. The casket is closed. So I'm thinking in my head, is he gonna sit down? Or is he gonna walk up and open the casket? Because who does that? If we've already closed the casket, you've missed your opportunity.
You missed it
to walk
We don't
around
do that.
and say your
We
goodbyes.
don't do that in the
We-
church.
We
No.
do not do that. We is not opening
Once
back
that
up.
casket closed,
That's it.
it's it.
So I was like,
You got to see them on the other side.
correct. I was on the edge of my seat. Like, I know he's not gonna open this casket. Sound like somebody old auntie. I was upset. I was bothered.
I'm like, what ushers? No, I'm just
Right. So he opens the casket and there's a baby in the casket. And he's looking at the baby. It makes me think this is his baby, the
Mhm.
way he's smiling at the baby. And then all of a sudden, Michael stabs his ass from the back.
Yep.
And then Klaus wakes up in a panic. And this is the beginning of
Episode 20.
an episode where
I already knew.
all we do is see Michael the whole entire episode. And Michael is disgusting. Like,
He's
just
disgusting.
just as a, I don't, whatever the hell he is,
He's disgusting.
I can't
I
stand
can't
him.
stand him
Yeah.
either.
Yep.
And I forgot this, but you're watching the Vampire Diaries. The whole collapse of the underworld, the reason why it's happening, and she's able to see Michael, happens in Vampire Diaries. So
Okay.
if you keep watching, you'll understand why it's collapsing. But that's why he's able to push through, because nobody on that side
Yeah, they said
wants to disappear forever.
they said purgatory is
Yes,
failing.
it's failing.
So this is why we continue to see Michael throughout the rest of the episodes, because purgatory is no longer holding him and others. They just, being free and appearing
falling
in
apart.
ghost-like little state, which again, I don't like him. I did not. Just him coming back
He's just
puts
creepy.
a whole.
It's his whole voice.
It puts a whole new spin on everything else that I'm about to watch from here on out. So I need them to hurry up and kill him again.
Yes.
Again.
Because he's just trying to get out because he want to torment Klaus.
That's it. That's his whole life.
Like, dude, even in death, you can't find no peace.
No, he is.
Ain't you over there with Esther? Ain't y'all supposed to be over there like,
He is so focused on killing Klaus that he don't see nothing else, and it's driving me crazy. I don't know why, but again, I guess now because I'm vested compared to the first time I watched it. But when I say it's under my skin, like, damn, leave this man alone.
Right? Can he just live and be great? And then we got
Monique.
Monique, that's what I had next to my note. Monique up to something. I'm like, so you got Michael trying to come back. You got Monique over here, side plot. I can't stand her.
I remember I told you when she came back from the dead, she was weird as shit. Monique crazy. That's the weird that I saw. She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puff.
She is.
All she does is be on Genevieve's neck, because Genevieve is supposed to make a sacrifice for the elders.
But you can kind of tell Genevieve ain't really feeling it.
Oh, no.
But she's more scared of the ancestors, which really makes me like, that's why I don't like these witches. Because you know what? That's got to be horrible to be alive in the land of the living, but you getting bullied by the dead telling you what to do in the living. Like, boo, you had your chance. Sit over there in purgatory and shut the hell up.
But that's not what's happening. When I say they on Genevieve's neck,
bro, they making blood come out of her eyes and nose if she don't do. She's like, I don't want to do this. Okay, I'm sorry. Like, bro.
Yeah, that's because she already know they will kill her from beyond the grave, which is again why we don't like the witches.
That's bullying.
It is.
They just bullies.
They are,
because they want power. For what? Y'all dead.
Girl. But you know what though? The witches do have that, something that the werewolves don't have and something that the vampires don't have, that even in death, the witches are still powerful. Their power, even though they're dead, simply gets channeled through a witch that's alive and makes that witch even more powerful. We see that in this episode.
I still want to be a witch.
No, I mean,
I know I get it, but I see what you're
I'm
saying.
just saying the ancestors, and like you said, it's only in New Orleans because that's where the ancestors are buried. You know what I'm saying? They go to Shreveport, they ain't shit. I don't really know, but either way it goes, this is
note to self: stay out of New Orleans. The witches.
that's their home. Yeah, that is their home. So yeah, Monique is not playing with Genevieve.
She ain't playing.
She keeps reminding Genevieve that the sacrifice that the ancestors want is Haley's baby.
Yeah.
What did you feel about that?
I'm like, y'all, that's why I don't like, I can't stand the witches. See, I just want to kill a baby for power. Didn't y'all just do the harvest?
Right.
Y'all ain't that what the harvest was for?
Exactly. Y'all just killed y'all 4 young girls of y'all own to get stronger. So
but
why
see,
was that
baby
not
is
enough?
so unique. It's going to be like an endless power. And then what makes you think you entitled to it? Like, it's a baby.
Yeah.
Y'all can't wait till she grow up, live her life, and eventually die, and y'all gonna get her anyway?
No. I think it makes them stronger to take her in her infant state. It's got to be.
For what? Y'all dead.
They're dead, but they're still powerful.
Not powerful enough to cross over the plane. You're dead. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, this is true. They cannot come back.
Y'all some stinky, musty, crusty.
Witches.
Witches. And you're dead. Dead, 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 dead.
Also, in this episode, we learn a lot about Klaus and Marcel's history, which I always appreciate a good bit of history because
Me
it gives
too.
you context of the friendship or relationship, the father and son relationship that they have. And so Klaus has a flashback of him taking Marcel from the plantation. So we know that in Klaus's long ass life, he meets Marcel. Marcel is a young boy
Yep.
who is a slave on the plantation.
Yep.
And he is even more, or he's treated even more unfairly because he's the he's the son of the slave owner.
Yes.
So Marcel, half black, half white. That's why he a cutie pie. We don't like him, but Marcel is a cutie pie.
Right. And he had spunk. Like, even though he was a slave, like, he was tough.
Oh yeah, he was. You whoop me, I whoop you back.
Right. He would hit back.
And that's why Klaus liked his ass, because he saw the fight in him.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the, I'm not taking no shit. And that's Klaus all day. He not taking no shit. So he definitely saw a lot of himself in Marcel.
Right. Yeah. And he took him and he raised him as his own. And I had forgotten that Marcel went back to the plantation to confront his father.
Okay. So so we can't get into that yet. But you're right, because a lot happens from that. And I do want to talk about that. We got to talk about the fact that Klaus initially is dreaming about Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And when he makes it be known, he says this comment to Elijah, like, go ahead, laugh at me. Yeah.
I promise you, brother, I don't want to laugh. Like, he was like,
Elijah was like, yo, I've been dreaming about him too, kid. Like, it's not just you. And this is what made me think. Klaus always thinks that, like, something negative in regards to himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just knew Elijah was going to laugh at him and think that he was crazy and just obsessed with Michael because he was dreaming about him. In all actuality, they're both dreaming about him, as they should be, because this baby is definitely trying to escape purgatory.
Well, they always joke Klaus about him being paranoid. So that's why it would sound very paranoid, like, dude, dad's been dead for, like, years. Why are you worried about it? But
right.
Yeah. They thought it was Genevieve, so they cornered her. And she was like, no, it's not me. I don't know why you seeing your father, but it ain't me.
Right.
And Elijah wanted to like slaughter her right then.
Oh yeah, because Elijah has no love for Genevieve.
No, he can't stand Genevieve, like, at all.
But I don't think it's coincidental, or I don't think Michael showing up or revealing himself to Davina, I don't think he did that by accident. He's a very calculating man.
Yeah.
And he already knows, clearly he's been watching from purgatory, and he said that. Mm-hmm. He already knows the history that Klaus and Davina have. And Klaus being Klaus, he done made another
a powerful
enemy.
Witch.
Yeah, he done made a damn enemy out of Davina, which I hate, because I like Klaus and I like Davina.
Well, he did a peace offering, but then she did go behind his back and help Marcel. But then you understand her helping Marcel because he the one that saved her. So it's kind of like she was in a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
But powerful or not, if I was her, wouldn't nothing make me cross Klaus.
I mean, you say that, and we're aware, but she doesn't think it through.
No.
But she's also in high school. She's a young girl.
Yeah,
she doesn't understand. She's not that witchy, because she's only like 16. Klaus done lived for thousands of years, like
thousands.
So
thousands of years. So yeah.
I don't know.
So I wouldn't even mad at her, because I mean, she's been through a lot. My goodness, this year of her life, from graduating high school to the harvest to everything she's been through leading up to this point,
Yeah,
baby girl gets a slide.
she does.
She's probably, her and Bonnie, as of right now, because I don't know, I can't remember what happens. I'm cool with her as a witch. I'm kind of sad she is one because I feel like she's better than that.
I agree with you on that.
Okay.
Genevieve, she's got a thing for your boy. In my notes, I wrote Genevieve thirsty.
She real thirsty.
Because she be on
talking
Cloud's
cash money.
she be on
Don't
Cloud's-
call me again. And then next week, maybe we can hang out tonight. A
exactly.
little later on.
If I do this for you, what you gonna do for me?
She
I'm
be
like,
feeding.
damn. Come on, Genevieve. Don't be trying to
You know how they
bribe
be like,
Clouds
you
with
know that
butt.
song, Computer Love. They be like, hybrid love.
Yeah, she is hooked.
She hooked.
I was like, damn,
I'm like,
Genevieve.
and you a witch. Can't you, like, spice it up? I mean, and you all gone over the hybrid?
She is, but it's Klaus, so I get it.
I get it too.
Later on in the episode, we see that Monique has a voodoo doll of Haley.
Oh, God.
Right, Monique's ass is at it again. You tired of her? I can tell by the look on your face.
I just want somebody to chin checker.
I was just gonna say, you look like you're ready for somebody to take Monique out.
I know Klaus is nice and sweet,
but that's one kid he could kill,
bruh. I don't usually like kids dying at all. Like, I'm not that person. But Monique
can
go.
go.
And then Game of Thrones, when the king's son, the little young one.
Oh, right.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you was good with that.
I watched it like 5 times back to back.
Yes.
Because I'm like,
same. Yeah, some kids you just don't mind. Monique is one of them kids that I don't mind.
She's so beautiful. Like,
I don't even think she's beautiful.
I think she's beautiful. It's because of her attitude that makes her ugly. But
yeah.
I'm like,
and you know what? Let me stop. In real life, she is beautiful. I just don't like her right now because she's trying to kill Haley.
And not to mention she killed her. And I didn't like. You remember we said we couldn't wait to see how Sophie died because we was like, we didn't like her.
We didn't like Sophie, but then to realize that her niece killed her, I was like, damn, Sophie ain't deserve that. Sorry, Soph.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, that's that.
I was hoping
bad.
Marcel would kill her or something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good on Monique. So she's got this voodoo doll of Haley, and we see her stick a pin in the doll, and now Haley is having like breathing problems. Like she's doing a lot of coughing, she's getting wind. It's like she got asthma and or hay fever, but we know it's the voodoo doll.
Yeah. Yeah. She started coughing up blood.
She does at the fume.
I was like, dang, did she get Ebola or something? Because, bruh. And who was it? It was Genevieve, wasn't it? That called Klaus' name.
Yeah. When Haley starts coughing up the blood and she's about to pass out, Genevieve does help. That's why Genevieve be having her moments. Like, I felt sorry for her in the beginning because of how Rebecca used her, like how Genevieve even gets pulled into the whole scene.
And she still was being used, even here. It was the ancestors.
Yeah. Like, that's all she does is get used. So I do feel a little bit bad for Genevieve.
I feel like if Genevieve wasn't a witch and didn't meet Rebecca, if she was just a regular woman in a regular life, she would have probably had a beautiful soul.
Yeah. She was simply just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And everybody was simply taking from her. Like that was some fucked up shit. Oops, excuse me. I got a little bit emotional there about Genevieve.
A little bit emotional.
Yeah, I didn't like it. They did.
So Haley's passed out. Elijah is freaking distraught. Did he break a whole table? What did he pick up and smash against the wall?
A whole table. He's upset.
He's upset because
Haley's in trouble.
He's like, she's not breathing.
Yeah, Haley's in trouble. That's Bay.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna get her to the hospital. Genevieve was like, hey, ain't nothing you could do.
Nope. So they grab Haley and rush her to the compound. Got her laying on the table. She's passed out. In her passed out state.
She did.
Do we think she died? Yeah, she
died. She wasn't breathing.
Yeah.
And the only thing that Elijah was like, I can hear the baby heartbeat. So
I can't hear her heartbeat.
Right. Yeah. And Klaus was like, I mean, how long is the baby gonna live in her? Because I'll rip it out myself. Like
Klaus was like, nothing's gonna happen to that baby. And Elijah was like,
nothing's gonna happen to Haley.
Yeah. It's so funny because Klaus is definitely thinking about the baby. It's his baby. But he like, damn, Haley, I don't care. And Elijah's like, ain't nothing gonna happen to either one of them.
Right.
I did love that.
I did love that,
I
but
need
I was like,
Klaus.
Elijah, don't play it now, because
I need
truth be
Klaus.
told, Haley would rather you save her baby than her. But
I
I
mean,
got it.
this is
I'm glad he
true,
was
but I
patient, because
do need Klaus to
Klaus,
care about Haley as well. He does not.
he don't.
He just cares about the
He care
baby.
about her because Elijah do. Because that might be the only thing saving Haley. Because if Elijah didn't give two bronze pennies about her,
Yeah,
and if he had the same mentality as Klaus had and just cared about the baby,
right. Haley would have been out of there.
Haley would have been out of there.
Yeah. In her dead state, she goes to purgatory.
Oh,
Where,
I love this. Is my favorite part.
yeah,
She see Michael
yeah, she goes to purgatory where Michael is. Michael right there waiting on her. He was waiting for her to come.
waiting,
He makes me sick.
and then he was like talking cash money while trying to beat her up.
But Haley kicked his ass.
She did.
When I say that werewolf mother instinct, all of that came out, she handled her business
She
on
did.
Michael.
You see when Klaus was trying to give her blood while it wasn't going down her throat, it was just running out the side
Yeah.
of her mouth. He was like, oh, all of that while that's going on, she in there fighting for her life.
And she did. She did a good job
She
because she
did.
whooped Michael's ass.
She sure did.
I think he'll think twice before messing with her again.
And then Genevieve saved her.
Once again, it's one of those times where I'm telling you, I don't like Genevieve, but then I do like Genevieve because she did. She saved Haley. And even though the ancestors want her to kill Haley's baby, she don't want to.
No.
Like, she's really troubled.
Yeah.
She goes to them and prays. I was like, dang, Genevieve, this is not a good comparison. But
They didn't
she's
even
like,
let her finish the prayer. You know,
they did not. They made, while she was in the midst, she had just got on her knees and they started making blood come from her eyes.
She was just warming up. She hadn't even gotten, I don't want to do this. That's all she said.
Yeah.
And then they just started making her bleed her eyes. She's like, okay, I'm sorry, I'll do it. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Again, what you say? They bully her?
Bullied her.
They do.
Bless her little heart.
Haley comes back.
Mhm.
Genevieve saved her. And Haley's in her room recouping. And Klaus comes in to check on her. He comes in to check on her, but he also has another reason.
Oh, yeah, I wrote that down. You know, that melted me like,
yeah,
wax.
This melted my heart. He said he asked Haley if she had the chance to talk to Michael, and if so, what did Michael say about him? And Haley says to him, basically,
nothing true.
Nothing true. And she wants to know, why does it matter? Why do you keep calling him dad or father or however Klaus refers to Michael? She's like, that's not your dad. Stop calling him that. And so Klaus basically says he's done damage that only a real father could do.
Now, mind you, the whole setup to this scene, because I ain't even write none of that down, but my whole setup was Klaus decorated the nursery. Oh my God!
He did decorate the nursery.
And did you see the painting?
Yeah, I did. It was New Orleans. Yep. Did you see some of his enemy's blood on it?
Yeah.
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 Yep.
I mean, y'all might think, golly, he put that in his baby nursery, but you got to understand, Klaus. To know
it's a beautiful painting.
Yeah, it's a beautiful painting. It was a sweet dress,
and the
sweet
blood
gesture.
The blood is behind it. You really can't see unless you know Klaus and you know that he likes to paint with his enemy's blood. And when you see the red, you just know what it is.
Yeah,
you just.
A lot of people didn't know that little fun fact. Come on, Ezra, with the fun fact that Klaus takes his enemy's blood and mixes it with his paints.
Yeah, that's his thing. It's a live on forever painting.
I know, it's so serial killery. Ah, so beautiful. Anyway, poetic, as he would say. It's very poetic.
Yeah, but that phrase that he says to him about Michael being his father because he's only done damage that a real father could do. Yo, I related to that something crazy. Like, it just, if you got some type of daddy issues, I got them.
Yeah, it was poetic.
Yeah,
Klaus is
it
so
was.
poetic. I like.
He is. It resonated with me, and I was just like, "Who wrote this damn line?"
Right.
Because
I'm
I
like,
got a tear.
I need poetry night with Klaus.
Yeah, I had a tear coming down my cheek. I was just like, "Dang, this wasn't supposed to happen." But yeah, it was a tender moment, and it was a really great scene. Like, I loved it. While
Oh,
Klaus is talking to Haley, we see interaction between Elijah and Genevieve, and Elijah offers Genevieve his mother's memoirs if she will make Haley a daylight ring. They use the memoirs as bargaining chips, like for everything. Elijah done offered them to Davina, and now he offering the memoirs to Genevieve.
I guess it's gonna be down at your local FedEx making copies because y'all don't promise these memoirs to everybody.
Correct. And of course, Genevieve agrees because, she wants to gain favor with Klaus. And I think from 1919, she's been had a crush on Klaus since then. That's a long time. Because
Yeah.
when she first is
And
quote unquote friends with Rebecca, she's
and
talking about Klaus. And Rebecca offers to introduce Genevieve to Klaus. So she been trying to get put on.
and I think she wants those spells too, because there's probably some spells in there that she can use to subvent the ancestors.
I would believe that. I mean, it's Esther's memoirs. That's the mama name, Esther. Remember,
Esther.
we was trying to figure out that last time, but we know her name now. Yeah, she's powerful.
Yep.
So everybody's trying to get their hands on her book if they can. Makes me wonder. She's like, what's in it?
And also in episode 20, after Haley comes to and everything, Elijah admits to her that after 1,000 years, her being on that table, him not knowing if she was gonna make it or not, was the first time that he had been frightened in 1,000 years.
Yeah, that was super sweet. Like, what? It wasn't even sweet. That's not even the right word to describe it. That's just something.
It was like a moment where he felt helpless, and
yeah,
he felt that was the most human he had felt in a long time.
Right. That's a good way of putting it, sister.
That's
yeah.
what it was. It was.
He was shook it.
Their first kiss.
They did kiss. It was their first kiss. It was beautiful. You say he whooshed on her?
Man, he kissed her and he whoosh.
Yeah, he was out of there.
Why do you think he whooshed?
Cause like he said, like, I let her in. He don't get vulnerable like that.
No.
And he
has
a thing for Haley.
He got it bad.
He
I think he like her more than he likes Celeste.
Oh yeah, definitely does. And it's been from the very first time that he saw her. Remember, I told you when we talked about episode 1, like the moment he seen her, he was in love.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Later on in episode 20, and we now finally get to talk about it.
After you had to ring me back in.
I had to ring you back in because we're here now. We see a flashback to Marcel going to visit the plantation. Now he's older now. He's been living with Klaus and Becca and Elijah for some time.
Mm-hmm.
He goes back to the plantation. It seems like he went back to get more slaves. They were just supposed to be free. They weren't supposed to be, sold. Mm-hmm. And his daddy is still the plantation owner. Mm-hmm. And his daddy is talking cash shit to him. You think I don't remember you?
Has he changed you yet?
Yeah. Are you one of them?
Like I thought. Yeah.
I don't like his daddy either.
I don't either. I mean, he's a slave owner.
Correct.
Enough said.
And one of the men whipped one of the women while Marcel is standing there. And Marcel goes to whip his ass. And his daddy shoot him. Dirty.
Yep. And you know how strong he had to be to still walk all the way on, shot in the chest, to be on the front porch to see Klaus. And Klaus was like, "Here, let me heal you." He's like, "No, either you turn me or you let me die." You talk
Correct.
about family.
Yeah.
This is it.
Everybody, all of Klaus's family is a vampire, are
Yep.
vampires. So for Klaus to continue to say that Marcel is family and Marcel not be a vampire, that wasn't making no sense to Marcel, which I definitely understand that. So yeah, either turn me or let me die. He had a big ass bullet hole in his chest. Them guns from the 1900s,
It's a
God,
musket.
not a musket. You're right though, because dang, Marcel, like I said, that hole in that chest in his chest was big as shit. And again, he's stronger than a damn ox. Cause you're right, he made it all the way back to their house to be sitting on the porch when Klaus pulled up.
Yep. And Klaus changed him.
Klaus didn't want to change him
He
though.
didn't. But he didn't want him to
And
die either.
no, he didn't. But Klaus was crying and he was just like, I don't want to change you, basically.
Because you
Because
don't know what you're asking.
you
And
don't know what you're asking for, and I don't want you to be like me. Klaus, I think, refers to himself as a monster because what if that's what it feels like to be a vampire is to feel like a monster?
I mean, you live off the blood of human beings.
Right. I know, but they're always boosting themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like
But that's also what
vampires.
he's heard over and over again by Michael. You're an abomination. You're a monster. You're filth. And it's just like,
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Either way it goes, he didn't want to turn Marcel at all, but he does.
he does.
And there begins.
Their dance.
Oh, God.
Marcel said, "I may be just across the river, but I want you to know that I will fight for my city every." I'm like, dude, you can fight right beside him. Like, it ain't that deep. Like, why it gotta be yours, bruh?
And this is
You'd
when
have died in that city.
if it wasn't
right on
Klaus.
that same plantation up under that funky apple tree
Correct. As a slave.
as a slave.
Yeah. Probably wouldn't have lived as long as he is, or as old as he is right now. Just even in
You didn't even have
human
no
age.
name.
Yeah, Marcellus. Klaus
Then
named
he
you.
correct him. He said, "My name Marcel."
Correct.
Bruh.
No, your name is Marcellus.
And then Klaus said,
Oh, wait. Klaus said the most beautiful line.
"Say it."
I thought you was gonna say it. You had your hands up.
No, go ahead.
Klaus says, I spent decades trying to make up for what your dad did to you. He asked Marcel, how did he fail him? I cried.
Yeah, I felt that 110% because it's like,
Exactly. The first line for me, I spent
how
decades trying to make up.
How did I fail you?
Yeah, for what your father
For you to stand across from me,
right,
and make
declare
your
war.
and declare war.
Yeah.
On me.
Yeah.
Where did I mess
decades?
Up? Yeah, decades. And then he was like, and that's when first time he ever really truly, because when Marcel came to confront him about, well, I know I called Michael. You remember Klaus couldn't even acknowledge him at that point.
Mm-hmm.
He just walked away. But this was his first time acknowledging, you called my dad. You know firsthand what it is to have a father who treated you the way my dad does. So I spent decades trying to repair that. And you call the very thing that you know what hurt me. Because it hurt you. Nobody else, my brothers, Rebecca, Elijah, you out of all people should understand what Michael is to me.
Right.
Because I freed you from your own personal Michael.
Correct. Yep. From your own and personal you called Michael. Him, yes, ma'am. That's good.
To New Orleans.
Right. Also, you can be with Rebecca, and y'all not even together right now to this day.
And I let her free. And then you stand across from me trying to fight me, and I gave y'all the opportunity to go, because this is the why y'all plotted against me in the first place, is because I wouldn't let y'all be together. And I
Right.
let y'all be together, and you still plotted against me. So the truth of the matter is, you didn't want her no way.
No, he did not.
You've always wanted to plot against me.
Yeah.
And y'all tried to make it feel like it was my fault. But at the end of the day, it wasn't me.
No, I think when you the number one, as Klaus is, just like as Jackson is, you always got somebody that's gonna come for your neck, even
Yep.
even somebody that's in your family.
Yep. Because power, unfortunately, is attractive.
That's so crazy.
It is.
So episode 20 ends with Michael asking Davina to bring him back from the dead.
Bruh, that could never be a good idea.
All I can do is deep sigh because Davina, we already established that she's a kid. So she finna do something dumb.
Very.
I can already feel it. Like, and I think that's why Michael showed himself to Davina, because he already knew if there was any witch that he could manipulate, Davina the witch.
And the one that hated Klaus the most, because you remember she's still pissed off about Travis.
Tim.
Tim, that was his name. I knew it was a T.
Yeah.
The little violin boy.
Yeah, her boo, her love. Yeah. Klaus stay killing folks. Stay killing people she
Still
loved.
making it. But it's just like, bruh. Klaus really, I mean, he just misunderstood. Like, golly, y'all, I don't know why they keep testing him. Like, y'all already know this dude has no filter. He has no qualms. I mean, he's compassionate, but you can't keep taking his kindness for weakness. That dude is for real.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know why everybody keep around here keep playing like he ain't for real. Like when Marcel get all the people up, we're gonna go back over. Wait, am I skipping into another episode?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll wait.
It's okay. It's the episode we about to get into, which is episode 21, the Battle of New Orleans.
Yeah, he told me we're gonna go back, and I know we failed the first time, but that was my fault. You didn't fail, I failed.
He always trying to get
Because
somebody
I'm like, bruh, you hyping them up to go
and get slaughtered. That's what he was hyping them up to do.
To get slaughtered after you got Tyranny Heart ripped out 4-5 episodes. Like,
after you done already got a round of vampires slaughtered with a similar speech.
Right. And you had an original on your side. You first it's and then everybody be playing like Elijah ain't there. Like y'all play Elijah, like Elijah, y'all talk Cash Money like Klaus is the business, which Klaus is. He the hybrid. But y'all cannot play Elijah.
Oh,
okay?
No, not at all.
At all.
No.
So he got Elijah by his side, and it's him. Y'all couldn't beat him when it was him by himself.
What's the saying? If you can't beat him,
join him.
Yeah, he definitely not doing that. And he should.
He should.
Yeah, he should. So the Battle of New Orleans starts off with Klaus trying to sweet talk Genevieve into making these what they call daylight rings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we got to get the stone. It's a witch's brew. So there's a bunch of shit that they got to get.
Snake fangs. I didn't know his mom used fangs to turn them. That was a part of her potion to make them vampires.
Esther, like, bruh, I don't even understand her. I really don't. And she hasn't really made an appearance upon the scene yet. But this is just my 22 episodes of just dealing with her kids. Why the fuck did you do this to them? Like, I understand why she did it, because they were being hunted by, werewolves in the year 400, and she thought this was saving them, but you did it only to hate them. You and they daddy.
Right, they didn't ask for it.
They were your kids.
Yeah.
You're supposed to protect them. But instead, you and your crazy ass husband
turned them into quote unquote monsters.
Correct.
And then despise the very thing that you made them to be.
Correct. You created this and you hate them. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you don't get the right to do that. So I'm not feeling Michael already. And now, because of these last 2 episodes of the season, I'm not feeling Esther's ass.
Me neither.
Okay, so also in episode 21, something significant happens. I don't remember how it comes about, but for whatever reason, Jackson and Ollie are going to get the stones
Mm-hmm.
that Klaus and Elijah need
Mm-hmm.
for Genevieve to
Mm-hmm.
make the daylight rings.
Correct.
How did they get signed up for the mission? I don't remember. Do you?
They didn't show it, but they're werewolves, so because they're already out in the bayou, Klaus probably thought it would be easy for them to get out the city because ain't nobody really paying attention to what the wolves are doing.
Ah, okay.
And
Okay.
it would have worked,
Understand.
but Marcel knows him.
Yeah, Marcel knows Klaus. So Marcel was
Watching.
waiting,
Yeah.
and he was waiting for them to go and try to hunt down some these stones. And they do find the stones.
Mm-hmm.
But Marcel also finds them
Mm-hmm.
before they get back to Klaus.
Exactly.
And now Marcel has Jackson and Ollie
And the stones.
and the stones. Ain't that a bitch?
And then he was like beating them up. Him and what's it, Diego? So I'm like, so Marcel is beating up werewolves now?
Well,
Torturing werewolves?
you know he don't like them, and that's when he says to them, y'all think y'all are so tough. Y'all ain't so tough. I wiped out a whole line of the Guerreras back in 25.
That's what I'm saying. He
That
wiped out a whole
Yep.
line of werewolves,
a
bro.
whole line. And then I was like, Guerreras, like what? And so I wrote down in all capital letters, Francesca. I knew I didn't like that heifer. I don't like that heifer because she's a werewolf pretending to be a human.
Yep.
Because she's Francesca.
Well, technically, she is
Guerrera.
human because she hadn't
Well,
went through the first change yet.
She's a damn werewolf. Point blank. Period. The werewolves ain't.
She knew it.
Yeah,
but nobody else knew it because she
yeah,
hadn't
she didn't say
triggered the
nothing.
curse. So that's the best thing you could do because she could fake as being human because when she walk upon other werewolves, they wouldn't recognize her because each pack has their own scent.
Yeah, and like you said, because she hadn't
triggered
the
it,
werewolf side,
she could
was
walk
still
amongst
human.
witches, vampires, and other werewolves, and none of them know that she's a werewolf. I thought it was genius. I don't like her, but that was some Klaus like.
That's where we learn that Francesca, there's a reason why she wants to get the key. There's a reason why she wants to be the head of the human faction. Like all of it started to make sense to me.
And it all started because of Marcel. You wiped out her family line.
Yeah.
They had to hide.
I mean, they were, I don't remember what the werewolves were doing, but I remember that Marcel seemed to have a good reason for why he wiped them out. I don't think he wiped them out just to be, you know what I'm saying?
I thought he wiped them out because they were the ones that was running New Orleans at the time.
So he wiped them out for him to then be on top, for the vampires to be on top?
Yes. And he chased them to the bayou, remember? Okay. And then he had a witch put a curse on the rest of them so they'll walk in wolf form the whole time.
Okay. Oh, so they've been like this for a long ass time. Because again, he said he wiped them out in 25. Yeah. So that's right after, because the whole thing with Michael coming and running Klaus and them out of New Orleans, that's in 1919. So just 6 years later, Marcel was walking around with his chest poked out, killing werewolves.
Right, because that's how they was able to rise in power, because Michael chased Klaus off.
Okay. I understand now. All right. Finally, I don't know why it took till episode 21 because she been new, but finally Haley tells Elijah that she's betrothed to Jackson. She should have been told Elijah. That's my opinion. Like, y'all both crushing on each other, but the wolf that's been following you the whole time is your husband. You probably should tell Elijah that.
Probably should. I guess because, they had shared their first kiss, and I guess she didn't want to lead him on. And he was like, he's so noble. He was like, no, you don't have to explain anything to me. Understand how important it is to keep family tradition. And she was like, for once, could you not be so diplomatic?
Right.
Say how you feel. I think
Right.
she wanted him to fight for her.
Yeah, she did. He gave her a good kiss. I like the kiss, and then he takes off, which is what he does. I know Haley's sick of that shit. He don't never stick around. Like, I guess he don't want to show that side of him. I don't know. Elijah's not really good at this moment with being vulnerable with her.
Maybe his passions, he's trying to keep him, subdued because she is pregnant with his brother baby. Like, I mean, really, how much farther could it go? So I don't know if he separated himself, just be like, that's his way of a cold shower was a whoosh, whoosh. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but
I
I
see.
get it. I see. I see.
Okay.
He trying to, you know, remain virtuous. He ain't gonna touch her while she with child.
With his brother's child.
I know, right?
It's scandalous. If this was a Tyler Perry, that shit would have some stank on it. So you had mentioned earlier about Marcel hyping up the vampires to go to the compound where Klaus and Elijah are to kill Klaus.
Well, that wasn't their goal to kill Klaus. So
What was
maybe
it?
it was a different speech. But he was like, Klaus is planning to make these werewolves these rings. He
Right.
already intercepted the black stones, but Klaus, of course, had a backup plan, which that's how we get Miss Guerrera there,
Right.
because she has the stones. So he said,
She's the
y'all
backup
go.
plan.
Yep, she the backup plan. I'm gonna go lure Klaus because of what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna want to kill me.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the rest of y'all
Mm-hmm.
deal with Elijah and y'all go break up that witch party. Stop them from making the rings. That's what all they had to do was stop them from making the rings.
And all they had to do was stop Elijah, because Marcel was right. When they showed up, when Marcel took off, Klaus followed right behind him and left Elijah's ass there with Francesca Guerrera and her brothers.
And all the other vampires there.
Right, which wasn't enough to stop all of the vampires that Marcel left there. Well, you would think that it's not enough to stop all of the vampires that Marcel
Man, Elijah
there.
was whooping butt up in there.
Elijah whooped every single one of them. And when I say
and didn't break a sweat,
not a hair was out of place. I love that baby so much.
I'm like, come on, King Elijah.
Yeah, he whooped their ass.
And at first I was like, because you mean it was a whole bunch of them. It was more than what fought Klaus the first time around. And Marcel was like, come and get me. And he looked at him. He said, he told him he was going to go kill him. He's like, I'll be right back. But I'm like, so you finna leave Elijah with all these vampires? And Elijah just popped his collar.
Yeah, he wasn't worried.
He was like, so we're going to do this.
Yeah, he was not worried.
At all.
While Elijah's down there kicking these vampires' ass, Francesca is upstairs with Genevieve and Haley, and Genevieve is doing the spell over the stones.
Mm-hmm. Using Klaus' blood.
Using Klaus's blood. She does the spell. And then that's when we find out that Genevieve has made a side deal with Francesca. And instead of giving the stones to Klaus, like which is what she was supposed to do, she gives the stones to Francesca and her brothers. And there was 12 stones altogether. So Francesca had a stone, her 4 brothers had a stone, and then the rest were distributed to whomever.
She gave one to Oliver.
Oh yeah, and Oliver got one.
In the bargain, she got to keep Haley.
Genevieve did.
Correct, because she needed Haley for it. That was their swap.
Correct. She needs Haley's baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hated that Haley was upstairs all by herself because there was righteously nothing that she could do.
No.
Because they had no idea. They had no idea about the side deal. They had no idea that Francesca was a werewolf. Like,
no idea that the baby, Genevieve promised the death of the baby to the ancestors.
Yeah.
No idea. Which, all I'm saying is, I don't know why in the world Genevieve wanted to cross Klaus, and then she talked Cash Money after she crossed him because she
Yeah.
linked his blood to the rings, which means every full moon they pull from his strength,
Right.
which he didn't realize it until his fight with Marcel that he was like,
Right. Why am I not healing?
yeah,
Yeah. That was for me. I was just like, damn, nobody knows about this chick. I didn't like that. Francesca, she did a good job of keeping all of her side deals, who she was, the whole nine. And she said her name so proudly.
right.
Somebody should have looked her up. Every time she walked into a room, she
Well,
introduced
Camille
herself.
found out, but it was just a little bit too late. And I used to think when she first sat down with them, I was like, she awful cocky to be human.
Correct.
I said, she talked too much cat because she don't know. Did she not know who that is?
Right. You're right. But yeah, she was thinking, do you not know who I am? I'm the Guerrera.
Yeah, but
and
you
her-
ain't tricking a curse, so you can still die human.
I mean, she can, but,
But
she
she
already,
was, yeah, she already knew.
what she had up her sleeve.
She had already,
Yeah, she comes from a strong pack. The Guerreras ran
and
that city.
when when they were fighting and he wasn't healing, I don't know if Marcel knew or did not know, because you would think he would have kept going because Klaus wasn't healing, but you can't kill an original anyway. But I thought it was funny of how he bit Marcel, and when he realized he wasn't healing because Marcel had hurt him, when he looked at him, he didn't even have to fight Marcel no more. Even in his weakened state, he just growled at him.
Yeah.
Remember that? And he let the
Yep.
the vampire hybrid things like start to show. Wasn't full like it was in the thing, but he just like, "Rah!"
Yeah. And
like,
Marcel was out.
and Marcel dipped, like
Yeah,
he
was
ran.
out. Yeah, he already, because he knew what was up. While he's on the street, and this is like coming to the end of episode 21, in the meantime, Genevieve, Monique, the other witchy girl,
I don't even know her name.
Me either.
They didn't even get her name.
Nah.
She just Harvest Girl number 3.
Correct.
Wind.
They done right. They done took Haley to the church to get her baby, and she's in labor.
Full blown labor.
Yeah, she's a little bit early, but the baby's coming. And she is fighting tooth and nail for them not to get her baby. Again, even pregnant, Haley ain't nothing to play with.
Nothing.
She's fighting, she's screaming, and even in Klaus's weakened state, he can hear her. And that's how episode 21 ends, with him just fighting through, pushing through, following Haley's screams to get to her.
And he growled.
Yeah.
He was like, ah. Oh, yeah. It was so, I just felt that baby pain. I'm like, why they keep messing with Klaus, bro?
Yeah, he knows his baby mama's in trouble. So episode 22, boom, 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 the final episode.
I didn't take no notes, but go ahead. I was too in it.
Oh yeah, it was good. It was a good episode. I was watching and I was like, I had got lost in the episode. And I was like, dang, I'm supposed to be writing. Like I'm supposed to be taking notes. So episode 22, another title where I just knew this is going to be a great episode. From a Cradle to a Grave.
Yes.
That's a good title.
Great title.
You already know it's going to be something. So it starts with Haley writing a love letter to her baby, and she's sitting in the nursery, and she's just in the letter telling her baby about her and Klaus, and it was just beautiful.
It was sweet.
It was very sweet. I did notice how huge Haley was. I was like, damn, she having twins? Like she was, I don't know if she was that big because that's what wolves do, but she was huge. I was just like,
well, you know, those hindquarters. No, I'm just playing.
So that's how it starts. But in all actuality, the witches have Haley at the church, and they deliver her baby. They take her baby. I mean, and all of this just happens within seconds. While they're delivering her baby, Klaus shows up.
Yes, my baby.
He's trying to get to Haley. The witches stand strong and toss his ass against the wall and hold him there, not even physically with their hands, just with their little witch shit. And they're helping Haley bring the baby into the world. Klaus can't get down
On the
off,
altar.
yeah, on the altar, most definitely. Klaus can't get down off the wall to even help Haley. And the baby comes.
She asked, "Can I hold it?"
They let her hold the baby. And then Monique, while she's holding the baby, walks up to Haley and slits her throat.
Yep.
And Haley bleeds out and dies on the altar.
With
And
her baby on her chest. And Klaus is like,
Klaus is pinned to the wall and has to watch all of this. And then in comes Elijah. And Elijah is devastated.
yeah, because Klaus, by this time, because they broke his neck. Not only did they hold him up there, they broke his neck. So when he woke up, they gone. Haley dead. He got Haley in his lap. Elijah walks in, and when he sees her, Elijah is broken.
Yeah, instantly.
He said, "What happened?"
Yeah,
and Klaus said, "I got bested."
Elijah was like, You got bested?
My brother,
Yeah.
the one and only. I was like, don't patronize him. Don't do him like that. Like he already kick him right down. Dude don't lost Haley. His baby been kidnapped. You ain't said nothing about the baby. You just like, oh, so you got bested. Look, dude, he did.
Right.
A whole lot of stuff hit him that he did not see coming.
My baby is gone.
Elijah was broke.
Yeah, Elijah was pissed.
I'm like, come on, Elijah.
Yeah,
have a little more compassion.
He didn't. Instantly, him and Klaus were freaking going at it. I was just like, damn. Episode 22. I think it was a perfect timing for when Davina makes the mistakes of all mistakes and brings Michael back from the dead.
Yeah.
Michael's here.
I know. I can't stand him.
I don't even know what to think other than, can somebody please tell Klaus that Michael's here?
I know, and he don't even know.
No. Yeah. He doesn't know. And I need him to know that he's here in real life. It's not a dream.
He's feeling it, but he don't know.
But he doesn't know. It's not a dream.
Nope.
He's here and he's
distracted because Haley's dead. Mm-hmm. And now they got to find their baby before they do some witchy sacrifice.
Correct.
Which brings them to the graveyard, which they are like searching and come to find out. Did you see how big the witches made the graveyard?
Yeah, I did.
Cloaking themselves, hiding themselves, and they're just getting more frustrated.
They were lost.
And this is where Elijah just was like, brother, I let her in.
Right.
And now I'm broken. Yeah. I'm like, Elijah, come on, pull it together.
We got to find the baby.
Him and Rebecca just alike. I'm like, dude, you only kissed him twice. This is two. Do you like this after 2 kisses?
He is. That baby is tore.
I need whatever Haley got. It's that crescent. It's got to be something in the crescent.
It has to be. While they're wandering around in circles, Michael is at the compound where all the vampires are there and wounded from their fight with Elijah after he done kicked all their asses. And so they're laying there trying to recover. And Michael just comes and just has a feast.
You remember when we said we couldn't wait for Diego to die?
I didn't remember that Diego died like that.
This is another instance where I was like, dang, I hated Diego, but nobody deserves to be drunk by Michael. He gave Michael sustenance, life, to kill Klaus.
I thought the same thing too. I was very upset. Like, damn, I wanted Diego to die. I definitely forgot you died by Michael's hands. I'm so sorry, because nobody deserves to die like that.
Everybody we want to die died in the worst way. Like, you know, like you say, I don't want to wish that on my enemy.
Michael basically rips their neck out. Like, it's disgusting.
It's like he became the very thing he hated and despised, which is why he take it out on their neck when he bite, but he gotta feed. Because if he don't, he won't.
I mean, I understand, but he just the way he feeds, it does so much damage. Like it doesn't look like normal other vampires, and which is why
He's a senior citizen vamp.
this
That's why.
is why I don't understand when Klaus finally does make it back to the compound with Marcel, and they see that all of the vampires are like totally screwed, that they don't recognize like and see on their necks like that's not
But you
normal.
remember the werewolves went through there and gave them all a bite.
Yeah,
So
but what Michael has done to their necks, the werewolves didn't even do. This is what I'm saying. They played it like, oh, it looks like the werewolves came back for round two. Look at Diego's neck. That don't say round two. The way Diego neck looked, it
it
looked
was
like
almost
ground beef.
it did.
I ain't never seen no vampire bite like that make ground beef. Like that was
On
disgusting.
another vampire.
Correct.
And then he was veins.
He was. Diego was gray. Like I don't understand how they missed that. That didn't make no sense.
He got staked.
He did. He exactly how he looked. You're right, sister. It looked like he got staked. Why didn't they catch that? That shit was so disappointing. I feel like Klaus could have known right then, boo, your daddy back. If there was ever an enemy that he does not need to sleep on,
It's Michael.
it's Michael.
Yeah.
And Michael was in your home, sir.
In your home. Like right down the hall. Remember he was in the by the crib and he felt him.
He felt
But
Michael.
Davina snatched him up.
Well, her raggedy is. I can't.
But
believe
she don't know
done
who
brought
she
Michael.
dealing with. You remember she didn't know who she was
She
dealing
never
with
knows-
Elijah.
She never knows anything, but that doesn't stop her from doing dumb shit. Like, just sit down.
You think?
put-
And then why you didn't
somebody
talk to
put her-
Marcel about it?
Exactly. That's one of the things I was thinking too. Is like you and Marcel are still cool. That's still your boy. You could have asked him if there was anybody she could have trusted. It's Marcel to say, "Yo, Klaus' daddy came to see me from purgatory, and he want me to bring him back."
Exactly.
What you think?
And I think even then he'd be like, as bad as I want New Orleans, I don't want to back that band.
No, Marcel would have told Davina, hell no. Nah.
We got to find another way. Yeah.
That's why she didn't ask.
Yeah.
Because she knew that Marcel would have told her absolutely not. Little dumb girl. She makes me so sick. Because Klaus and Marcel end up making up.
They do. Why?
Because when they get back to the compound and they see that all the vampires are dead, Marcel's crying and he's like, oh my God. No, let me back.
That's why I had to get you back.
Yeah, I skipped ahead. We're going to the sacrifice.
Yes.
Good, talk about it.
All right. So first of all, they about to sacrifice this baby on the altar because Haley. First of all, Haley wakes up. And they're like, Haley, how you even wake up? She was like, I don't know. And then they start putting two together, like, oh, the baby is vampire and werewolf. You're just werewolf. But because when the baby was born,
you still have the baby's blood in you.
The baby's blood got in her because the placenta ripped and all of that stuff. Right. Anyway, long story short, she died with the baby blood in her. So she came back a vampire. She's a hybrid because only the baby and Klaus can make hybrids.
Correct. So now Haley is now a hybrid.
But she just needs to feed from her own baby.
Yeah.
To make the transition.
Yeah.
But she can feel her baby, which is why they're able to get through the maze of the cemetery is because she can follow her.
Yeah.
And Monique and the Wind Girl are there and they're trying Genevieve and they're trying to sacrifice. So now you got all three of them trying to come at them. But they're fighting them. And then they had all the ancestors, all them ugly old dead looking ratchet.
The witches, they not shit. But
they still lost.
Ancestors is, I mean, they did
exactly, lose. And that's why they still lost. I'm sorry, just a little violent.
But that's why I was just saying, like the witches, even from beyond the grave, they were still helping.
Yeah,
but again, it was to no avail.
No avail.
They get
Marcel shows up with the star. Yeah, the devil star is what it's called. And
one hit and it gives 100,
no, 1,000 cuts.
1,000 cuts over the body if you get hit with
Now
the
they
star.
was mad because they was holding hands with the ancestors. Let me tell you what Klaus did to the ancestors. Klaus got mad. He's like, I'm done with this. Y'all channel them. You need a conduit. Okay, I'm finna kill one of your, because that's the only way the ancestors can work. They have to work through somebody else,
Right.
a witch. He goes and get a metal stake from
off
the fence in the graveyard, and man, I ain't never
like
been
a
so
javelin.
I ain't never been so happy to see a witch get staked to the wall. I was so glad. But I win, whoosh, literally. And then Monique was looking scared then, wasn't she? No, she wasn't. She went and grabbed
the knife.
And finna kill the baby.
Yeah, Monique is serious. She's about that life. But either way it goes, the vampires win.
Yeah, because Marcel showed up with the Devil Star.
Marcel
and he threw it
up,
at Monique and them 1,000 cuts.
And he snatches the baby off the altar and goes back to the compound. And Klaus shows up to the compound. And he was like, you kidnapped my baby to get me to come here to help you and to help your vampires. But there was no help for the vampires they was because gone. Michael has ate through them. But Klaus still gives Marcel his blood.
Yep.
So that Marcel can live. And this is where the makeup
happens because he felt bad because he failed all his vampires. But he's like, no, you saved my daughter. And for that, you deserve my blood. And he gave him his blood, and bygones became bygones.
Yep. And so now Elijah and Klaus have a serious heart-to-heart and realize that their enemies are now the baby's enemies, and that their enemies are going to continue to come for the baby, and the witches are going to continue to come because Genevieve revealed to them that it's a decree that the baby must be killed, and the decree
came from Esther.
The baby's grandmother.
Hence why I don't like witches. And
from the grave.
So they're like that. Hence the title, from
the cradle
to the grave. So now they have to come to a decision what we're gonna do,
and they have to pretend that the baby is dead so that everybody thinks that the baby is dead. And ultimately, they give the baby to Rebecca so Rebecca can take the baby far away, which I know made Becca happy because, she always wanted to be a mama. And this is where the baby goes.
And this is where the name was revealed, which I knew the name because Elijah kind of gave it away in the cemetery.
Yeah, the baby's name is Hope. And Haley and Klaus are going to now pretend that the baby was killed during the attack on the compound by the vampires, so that nobody goes to look for the baby and the baby can grow up in some type of peace.
And he held the baby before he gave it to Rebecca, and he was like, and all of your enemies, I'm gonna wipe them out. Like, it was like some dark stuff, but I thought it was the most
but it was a beautiful thing that he said to his daughter.
And that little one tear.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was great. And so this episode ends, season 1 ends with us now knowing that the very last Harvest Girl that did not get up when Genevieve died, she finally got up. It's Cassie. But in Cassie's body is Esther.
Yep.
And not only is Esther back, but another one of her sons, Elijah and Klaus and Rebecca's brother, Finn.
He's in
Finn is in another body. He doesn't look like Finn. We don't know whose body he's in yet. We just see him, whose body he's inhabited.
Vincent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know who it is, but we watch. But yeah, I can't wait. So season 2, oh my goodness.
Season 2 is, hey, join us here next Friday.
Subscribe, rate, and review.
You already know.
You already know. In the
season
bag.
1, a great season. You better snap on them, sister.
Yes.
I love it.
I love you, Klaus Michelson.
I love you, Elijah. Come back. Join us. Season 2.
Peace.